What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today, BCH USD. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. It is the second day of April. We're going to try to get our thoughts straight here. Let's get into it. Okay, so $445, roughly 9.5 hours left in the day. We are moving down, unfortunately, and it does seem as though, in my opinion, looking at this, it does seem as though we're breaking out. However, where's the volume? Where is it? It's not there. I don't see it. To me, it makes less sense that we're breaking out. Not that it can't happen. Volume can pick up. But it makes more sense that we are at an area where we found support before and we likely will find support again. That's my thoughts. I think this is kind of a shakeout before we move up. We've seen this, right? We're moving sideways. We're moving sideways. The call is to move up, and we do move up, but first we move down. We get the fake out, and then we move down the bear trap, right? We've seen it before to the upside even, right? We're moving sideways. We move up. We get the fake out, and then we move down. Moving sideways. You got the higher lows. You think you're going to move up. Oh, no. We're breaking out, but there's no volume. And so we move back up, don't we? I mean, even here, we even had kind of like a double fake out because that right there faked people out. And then right here, you get this lower high. Look at that rejection. And then just to come right back up immediately. Bitcoin Cash is volatile, you guys. Even in the boring times. That's what gets people, I think. And that's what gets... I don't really think it gets me. It's not that it can't get me. It's just I'm used to Bitcoin Cash. I've known it since it came to existence, since its hard fork happened. So I'm used to the volatility. I'm used to these little games it plays, and I kind of count on it, actually. I really wouldn't be surprised if we did see a lower low here or a lower low than these lows, and then we move up, right? We could go right below $420, maybe even, I doubt we go below $400, but we could go like 420, maybe even a little bit lower than that, and then rip back to the upside. It's completely acceptable if we see a higher low here and that we don't go lower. I mean, we could see a higher low now, but all I'm really trying to say is I don't think this is a breakout. At least not yet. Let's look at the short-term stuff and then get into it. I'm still holding to the idea that no matter what we do in this area, we will break out to the upside, not to the downside, right? A breakout to the downside would imply that we see prices tremendously lower than these lows here and that we're making that next phase down, right? It would likely take us below $400, and I'm not expecting that personally at the moment. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and then we'll zoom back out, okay? 1 hour time frame here. As we're moving down, notice one thing about the volume is that it is decreasing, right? It's decreasing, heavily decreasing. The 1 hour RSI has provided us something that's very, very legendary, which is a double bottom, and it's perfect. It's a perfect double bottom. Now, what I don't like, this is awesome. I like this. What I don't like is how fast we've moved up here with such little movement, right? We are still clearly in a bearish area of control, and we need things to shift. However, there are some positive things, right? If we can continue to move up, if we can start getting overbought and stay out of the oversold zone, this area here might not be super bullish. We might move up just a little bit, and then we move back down, whatever, with this. But when we get in that overbought zone the second time, or whenever we make our secondary kind of run to these upper limits in the RSI, that move could be a little bit stronger and push us, back up to these upper areas here. So it is possible that Bitcoin Cash has found its low. It is possible that we've gone low, that we could go lower. But even if we are to go lower from here, we would probably first move back up to this like 460 area, I would guess, if not higher. I'm kind of leaning toward the idea that this could be the low, but let's see. Let's wait and see. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. This does look nice. Bouncing off the oversold zone and coming up like this, you're breaking out of your downtrend. It looks nice. The MACD had some red for quite some time. We're flipping green right now. You got a little higher low here in your oscillators. Lower low, quite lower low there. I mean, there's some bullish divergence for sure, both on the RSI with the double bottom and the lower lows, and the MACD here. There's definitely a little bit of bullish divergence there on the stochastics as well, bouncing off the oversold zone. You were oversold for quite some time. Again, illustrating that we're in a bearish environment. But the last time that we were in a bullish environment like this, getting oversold or overbought for quite some time, we saw some rapid decay. Maybe we see some rapid recovery. Maybe. I'm not going with this idea right now. I'm more going with this kind of idea, and then maybe we can look forward to some rapid recovery later. But let's set up a bullish base first. Is I guess what I'm saying. 4-hour time frame. We look at the RSI. It kind of looks the same as the 1 hour, just a little bit higher up. Every time we've been at the oversold zone, every single damn time since we've been in this range, going back to the beginning of March here, when we're at the oversold zone, we're at a low point. When we're even close to the oversold zone here, we're at a low point here. We're in the oversold zone right there, at a low point right there, right? And it's the same old song and dance all the way through. We're singing and tapping our feet to this little tune that Bitcoin Cash is spinning us. It's worked out pretty well. It's worked out pretty well. And this is not bullish divergence. You do not need bullish divergence to form a low. You don't need it. It's nice. It's nice when it happens. It helps build confidence. It's not necessary, though. And some of the best lows, actually, I think, come without bullish divergence. This rejection off the oversold zone, and that's what I'm going to call it because that's what it is, does build a little bit of excitement in me. Anytime with or without bullish divergence we get in and out like that, that builds some excitement because we've reset. We're ready to go. I don't like that we've seen lower lows, but at the same time, not a whole lot of volume. This kind of stuff causes people to capitulate at the worst possible time, and that gives the big dogs reason to step in and smart money to step in. We do have this kind of like a sideways W shape. I mean, if things work out well, we really could be moving up back above 480, back above any of these highs, and this could be the starting point from here. We could see an exuberant move. I'm expecting a more kind of methodical move because that's how Bitcoin Cash likes to do it, but anything can happen. Anything can happen. Stochastics are reset. We're coming out of the overbought zone, implying some bullishness as well. We do have a long weekend. Tomorrow the stock market's closed, so for all intents and purposes, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will likely be boring days, at least for Bitcoin. But maybe for Bitcoin Cash, they're a little bit more exciting. Maybe just today and then tomorrow, Friday, we see a little bit of excitement, but then over the weekend, again, it's boring, so we just kind of like move sideways. I have a feeling that we'll know more by Monday. By Sunday night even, we'll know more. Because right now I'm pretty confident we move up. I'm not confident as to how far up we move. We could do something like this. We could do something like this. We could do something where we move up and then we move down. You know, it's still, I'm not the most confident in this being the low. The one thing that builds a lot of confidence for me that this could be a potential low, the low point of which we do now send above these highs and we break out to the upside going above $500. The one thing that builds the most confidence is every step of the way down, man, we're getting lower volume. Maybe not this drop here. Volume did pick up a little bit, but lower volume here. The MACD is useless. It's not going to help us. Daily time frame. And if you think that's just a cop-out, let me show you, right? Crossed above the zero here. That's really good, guys. Well, that was at the top, though. That really good thing sucked. Crossed below the zero here. That's really bad, guys. Well, we were at the bottom here, and then we moved up. So it's actually been very unreliable. Right now, the MACD looks bearish. If anything, that probably means we're going to go up because of how unreliable it is. Why is it unreliable? It's not a cop-out. It's because we're choppy and sideways. When you're choppy and sideways in a range like this, it's very unreliable. It's already unreliable on the 4-hour time frame alone. It's much better on the daily, 3-day, weekly, monthly, stuff like that. The MACD is a lot more reliable on larger time frames. But you take it on the shorter time frames, you take it in a tight range where it's not really doing much, it's just being boring and volatile, choppy sideways. It's very unreliable at those moments. So don't think though that just because it's unreliable that, oh, if it looks bearish that means it's bullish, if it looks bullish it means it's bearish. I mean, typically yes in these unreliable times, but not always. Don't treat that as if that's a fact or a way to do TA. I would just disregard it entirely is how I would look at it. Anyways, the MACD here on the daily time frame, speaking of choppy and sideways, it has been very choppy and sideways for about a month. So it's probably not going to be that helpful here either. We're crossing red. That might be a sign that we move up. But like I was just saying, that in itself is not enough to go off of. We have been green for a while. We could be green for a while more. But typically you don't see too much green last consistently this long or longer. We do get some red, here and there. In that red, whenever that red started here, we still moved up and saw higher highs. And inevitably went down. That can happen too. But we're really, really close to this threshold where the oscillators can cross through the zero. these blue and orange lines. If we can get those to cross above the 0, I don't care how green we've been for how long, that's going to be a very bullish signal there. Okay, we kind of break through this trend of lower highs in the MACD as well, which I think we're looking like we want to do. Stochastics are oversold, reset, ready to go to the upside. But again, less reliable because we're choppy and sideways. The RSI is not really giving us too much of a read either. We're at the 40. That's nice. We find support here sometimes. It's truly neutral because the price action is truly neutral. So I think the best thing we have to go off of is the short-term stuff. And the short-term stuff to me is looking like we will move back up. We're at 446. Let's move up to 460 and see where we go from there. I want to take this 4-hour look real quick. Take the high to the low. Golden ratio zone. Let's up the ante a little bit. Let's say, 460 might be a good range. It might be. Maybe 467 to 470. Let's see how we do with that range. A slightly lower high. And we could, build our way up slowly but surely and get there. And it's Sunday that we're here. And then Monday we come back down. And then Tuesday we're moving back up. It could be methodical. We could just see an exuberant move that just takes us up here. We could hit this level and then just reject and see a lower low. That's also possible. So keep your mind open to any of those outcomes. I really do believe that we're moving up from here. I think we stand a chance of this being the low, but I'm not convinced yet. Let's wait a few days. Let's see how the weekend treats us, and then maybe we'll have a better heading. I got nothing else for you guys. I'm still ultimately expecting that we do take this range here, and break out to the upside. Even if we see lower lows, I still expect that. I'm not expecting that we break out to the downside. So, again, if that's hard for you to understand, just remember we were in a range here. We saw lower lows. That was not a breakout, though, and then we moved to the upside. We still broke out to the upside. That was still the right call, right? Here you did the same thing. You broke out to the downside, but it was a fake out. Boom, you ripped to the upside, right? You're moving up. So if we get a fake out, don't fall for it. I wouldn't be surprised if we moved up sharply thereafter. But that's not the call either. I want to wait a few days before we're set on calling this the low or calling for lower prices. I want to wait a few days and just see. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.